Hey everybody, how's it going? Coming to you with another knife review, and this time we're looking at a China special. So I had jumped onto AliExpress for the first time in about 2 years, just curious to see what the Chinese knife market was like. I used to love browsing Deal Extreme and similar websites like XDuct and all of these other Chinese websites just to see what they were up to. And AliExpress was a big one for the last several years of my original knife enthusiast hobby on YouTube. And as I was scrolling, I came across this knife, which was listed as a first-time customer purchase of $1. um, and I said, screw it, for $1. How bad could it be? It's not branded as anything except for its own Chinese knife brand, Huang. And I said, screw it, for $1, let's see what happens. And I bought it, and it came in, and I was actually really impressed. So much so that I wanted to get another one for $1, so I made another account just to order another one for $1. And I tried to order one of each version, the black partially serrated blade and the silver plain edge blade. They ended up sending me two of the black partially serrated. I'm going to unsheath it here in a little bit. But I'm making this video when I wasn't really expecting to pay much attention to this knife because this thing freaking impressed me. I'm going to show this one is brand new. This particular one is absolutely brand new. I'm going to roll the one I used into the video here in a little bit. But I want to start by showing you, what it would look like when you get it. Packaging, typical Chinese knife packaging. Hong Fu on the front, absolutely nothing else on the box, nothing inside the box. The knife will arrive just like this. Okay, I suspect that Huang Fu is a brand that just rebrands a bunch of other knives made from, several different producers over in China, and they'll just like slap their name on it. I know for a fact that some of the knives they make are sold with company logos on them as well. So like this is branded Huang Fu. Huang Fu has a Huang Fu branded Cold Steel XL Espada, which I have one coming in the mail for review, by the way. It'll be a fun video whenever I get that. But they have one of those that is literally just the counterfeit XL Espada with the Cold Steel logo scrubbed off and the Huang Fu logo lasered on to the blade. So that's the kind of stuff you're looking at when you get these types of knives. But as long as the knife I have doesn't have a counterfeit logo on it, I'm happy with it. So let's start by talking about this sheath. It's a nylon sheath, and it's actually a pretty sturdy nylon sheath. You can belt carry it, as you can see, or you can attach it to your molly gear if you want to take this on a molly loadout. Have a little Velcro pocket in the front with really strong Velcro that's big enough to hold a sharpening stone, a mini fishing kit, or whatever else you may need. And there is a plastic insert in the sheath that will protect the sheath from the knife blade and keep it from cutting it. The strap is both Velcro and a button clasp. And, it works well enough. The knife will kind of shake out. It's not the tightest retention strap, so you do have the risk of cutting yourself if you're not careful. But overall, it's a decent sheath for a $1 knife. I do like how we can attach some string to tie it to our leg to keep it from flopping all over the place. Honestly, a very, very decent sheath. Now, when you see the knife and honestly the sheath, I'm sure you're thinking, well, wait a minute, that's a SOG seal pup. That looks just like a SOG seal pup. And you're mostly correct. This does copy the design of a SOG seal pup. In fact, here is my genuine SOG seal pup. And you can see the sheath very much copying the design. And the knife is copying the design, albeit smaller. So this is a copy of the very well-known, very respected, and very famous seal pup from SOG, which is a fantastic utility knife, a fantastic combat knife, a proven woods blade, and a knife that I will review on my channel at some point. So great design, and this is another example of China kind of saying, well, you know what, we like that design, we're going to do a rip-off of it and sell it ourselves. And again, this exact same knife can probably be found with half a dozen different brandings on it. Some of them probably even say SOG, if we're being completely honest. But I really want to talk about this thing, because I do have two of them. I'll put this one down, and I'll bring it out of the sheath here later. But first, let's go over some specs. So we have a 4-inch blade made out of 7CR 13 MOV. Now, that's really interesting because I've never heard of 7CR 13 MOV before. I have a lot of use with 8CR 13 MOV. I have a lot of use with 7CR 17 MOV, but I've never heard of 7CR 13 MOV. Doing a little bit of research, It appears to be identical to 8CR13 MOV, but just a little bit less carbon. 0.7 versus 0.8. Whoopity-doo-dah. I can't tell you how it performs in EDC cutting tasks because I will be employing this one in that, but I'll be able to speak to its durability as a wood blade whenever I unsheath this other one and talk about it. So 7CR13, for the $1 I paid, hell, that's great steel. For the, I think, 13 or 15 they were usually charging for this, I think it's still very passable steel. Okay, obviously a Bowie style clip point that's taking the design from all the historic famous SOG Bowie designs. Very effective. Hollow ground from about, I'd say, what is that, 3/8 of the way down. And we have these serrations, which are extremely sharp, but I'm not a huge fan of how deeply they're cut. I like my serrations crescent edges to be level with the cutting edge of my fine edge. And this doesn't quite do that. I have no idea what kind of coating is on this blade. It is textured though, and it is very similar to what is on the SOG knives. It's incredibly similar to what is on my Seal Pup, just a little bit of a darker shade. You can see the Huang logo right there. There's your thickness of the blade. Overall, a pretty useful blade shape. Handle is just ABS plastic, nothing to write home about. You can see they've put HF on the handle where the SOG logo would usually go. Very cheesy looking, but again, I respect that they're at least not trying to tell you that this is a SOG Seal Pup. Handle itself is 4 1/4 inches long and is very aggressively textured. This stuff provides really good traction, and it's honestly very ergonomic. No surprise, it's just ripping off the SOG Seal Pup design. So all your boring tech specs, I'm going to try to breeze through this. 4 ounces out of the sheath, 6.6 ounces in the sheath. Okay, cool. Let's bring out the one that I used. This one, by the way, has a Bic lighter in the sheath. This is going to be a camp knife for me. And check this thing out. I put this thing through its paces and then some. I wailed on this knife. I actually actively tried to break this knife. I really tried to break this thing. And the reason why is I was curious. You know, I have 2 of them. It only cost me $1. I didn't really care. So I went outside and did my typical camping test with it. I found some small saplings, pressed the knife against them, took a baton and hammered through the saplings, and it went through extremely well. Then I decided to go ahead and split wood with it. So after I chopped all those saplings down with it, I processed all the wood and split them. Carved tent stakes, did all the typical stuff. And it held up. It did. It really did hold up through all of that, which was, to me, incredibly impressive. I wasn't expecting it to. And so whenever it was able to tackle that with flying colors, I have to admit I was more than a little bit impressed with the durability of the steel, especially because it didn't roll. It did later get a small chip on the tip. That happened whenever I was purposely driving this thing into the dirt and rocks, but it held up. And so I said, you know what? Let's see if I can break it. So when I decided to take it against much drier, heavier, harder wood that was extremely knotted, and it barely spanned the length of the log, and I wailed on this tip specifically. I was wailing on this tip, and I could not break it. It split it. So I decided to do pry testing with it, where I took the knife, stabbed it in some wood, and pried up, and it didn't break the tip. That didn't even bend the tip. I didn't manage to do any lasting damage to this knife until I took it over to a small sapling about 4 inches in diameter, took a baton, hammered it in to where it was about this deep into the sapling, and began twisting, trying to pry the sapling apart. And even then, I didn't break the knife. I was beginning to split the sapling. I couldn't believe it. So I said, you know what? Let's go one step further. I batoned it back in and began whacking the side of the blade with the baton. All that wood remnant is from the baton I was smacking into the flat of the blade while it was stabbed into a tree. And it wouldn't break. The worst it got was some deformation. Maybe I'll bring the other one in so you can see it alongside it. But you can see I deformed that tip, no doubt. I did deform the end of the blade, but it refused to die. And that tip, still extremely pointy. Which I forgot to mention, yes, it comes to a very fine point. Out of box, these things are laser sharp, not just razor sharp. Let's take this old medical bill here. Oh, This thing is sharp as hell. It is hair shaving sharp. Even the serrations. I'm not demonstrating that very well here because this paper's not straight up and down. There you go. These things came super, super, super sharp. And how sharp is this one after all that use? Well, I'm telling you right now, it's nowhere near hair shaving sharp, but let's see together for the first time if it'll cut paper. I have not touched this up. Yeah, it's not the cleanest cuts. I don't know how well this will focus. It's not the cleanest cuts in the world, but it's cutting. How about the serrations? Yep. That's insane to me. Even for the fact, I'm going to call this a $1 knife because that's what I pay, but even for like the 15 or whatever they were charging for regular customers, I'm impressed. I've seen much more expensive, much better steels fail in these tests, and I couldn't even break these serrations off. All of these serrations still have their tips. The damn thing just won't die. And so I have no choice but to give this thing a glowing review. I mean, it's actually an outstanding performing knife. How well will it touch up? I don't know. I haven't done so. I'll probably do so after the video. I wanted to save the edge to show it to y'all and see it for myself because I hadn't done any cutting with it afterwards. I can tell you it does feel, slightly rough, but as you saw, it'll still cut. It's still utilitarian. By the way, big lanyard hole in the back there for some paracord. This is a review, but it's more of a rant video, honestly, talking about how I can't believe how crazy strong this thing is. I really tried to break it, and it just refused to die. Even at the $13 or $15 price tag, if you can find these things, pick one up, thrash on it, throw it in a bug-out kit, throw it in a camping kit. This damn thing just doesn't die. It performs incredibly. It's very comfortable. This one's going to be part of my EDC rotation. Whenever I carry a huge knife like the Espada XL as my defensive knife, this will go on my hip as a EDC blade. And I think I'll be very happy with it as an EDC knife. Definitely impressed with what I'm going to go ahead and dub the Huang Deal Pup. These things are just insane. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time, I will see you later. Peace and take care.